Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus, King Sun Kiss, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, maybe, for collective tools, divine direction for your pain slash sadness and anger. Okay? All of this is a part of the Aries times 7 queer, loud, feminine, sacred rage saga. So I'm gonna try to make sure that I put the link in the playlist. The link to the playlist in the description box and or in the comment section. So make sure everybody is caught up. Okay. So, like I said, these are messages that we going towards helping emotional regulation as well as the deeper and bigger purposes of our emotions. And of course, everybody does not respond emotionally the same way, and everybody is not supposed to respond emotionally the same way. Emotions are not supposed to just be in one moment and then you act like ain't shit happened and move on. Emotions are meant to be processed, okay, which requires processes and allowing yourself to go through the processes of such things. And again, is attached also, just as our emotions are attached to our intuition, our spiritual gifts, that is also for the purpose of our divine purposes. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the specificities of this read. And we're gonna kick it off with the pain, sadness layout. I did two different layouts, two cards for each. One for pain slash sadness and the other for anger. I ain't gonna waste no more time. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the specificities. Oh, wait. You will notice a few signs and symbols of resonation in the title, but the rest and a more thorough list of signs and symbols of resonation will be in the description box, and I may also put them in the comment section. Okay? And yeah, now you may resonate with both collectives. You may resonate with one or the other. Or you may decide to watch both either way, and you may resonate with both, but you may resonate with one more than the other, or it could be equal, whichever way it goes for you, okay? All in only in divine design. All right. Now, ain't gonna waste no more time. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the specificities of these cards. So kicking it off with y'all's first layout. What is the divine direction of you all's pain slash sadness? So, of course, sadness is the emotion. Pain is the infliction. Oftentimes, they come together, whether the chicken come first or the egg. All right, so that to be understood. So for the divine direction of y'all's pain and sadness here, we have the Judgment card and the Six of Swords. Judgment is labeled quarter life crisis in this deck, and Six of Swords is labeled the Six of Thoughts, as well as Girls Trip in this particular deck, the Millennial Tarot. All right, so kicking it off with the Judgment card. This is bringing to the attention that, so a lot of things that end up fueling this collective's pain and sadness frequency, or, triggering it, if you will, it has a lot to do with other people's expectations. Has a lot to do with a fear of disappointing other people. And so this is a collective that's dealing with a lot of wounded feminine energy. So people who have been very hyper criticized as well as hyper criticized, particularly by your mothers and or the women in your family. And one way or another, it seems like it ends up and or has ended up being a lot of crowds of women who have this mindset that's in conjunction with, like, having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. It's like you need to just take what you can get and work with it. That have that type of mentality, that have like Rashida from Love and Hip Hop mentality, that have the mentality of, like, I was literally just watching this season. It's crazy how it's shining through right now, right? So situation with Jock, Mita, and Kendra. Jock had just gotten married to Kendra. Mita comes out of nowhere talking about her and Jock been fucking around for decades and the timelines are overlapping and all of that good stuff, right? So of course, Spice and Mita, super cool. Spice even admits at a couple of points that Mita has told her all about the escapades with her and Jock over the years and this, that, and the third. So Spice knows the timeline. Spice knows that Mita is telling the truth and that he been fucking with Mita for all this time and all these years. Mita even pull out the text message receipts to Kendra and all this, that, and the third. But Spice is sitting up here apologizing to Jock, talking about, I didn't know that she was going to pull out text messages. I told her to tell the story as if there was no overlapping so that they could just, put it behind them and live happily ever after. So Spice was telling Mita to lie about the timeline and the nature of their relationship just so Kendra could stay with him and they quote unquote live happily ever after. And she was apologizing to Jock because he inevitably was getting caught up in his bullshit. And she was apologizing to Jock because Mita didn't listen to her and lied to Kendra just so Kendra could stay with him and live happily ever after, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's being communicated in the energy and the messages coming through coming through the channeling and the cards and such, is that y'all done been surrounded by a lot of women that have not only likely talked y'all into staying in toxic relationships and into enabling men's bad behavior, but they've also done little things behind your back and behind the scenes to facilitate you being manipulated to stay in relationships with these toxic people. It's also giving what's love got to do with it? The first time Tina Anime tries to run in the movie, she gets up in the middle of the night, she going to the restroom, but instead she grabbed the kids and she hit the fuck out and she tries to run from him and he calls all over the place looking for her, and it's her own mama that tells him where she is after Anime has already told her, I'm on the run, I'm trying to get away from him, don't tell him where I'm at. And she tells him anyway. Yeah, it's giving that type shit. Like, it's even stuff that, you know, I'm hearing through the channel, and it's even stuff that y'all don't even know about. It's some stuff y'all know about by certain people doing shit behind y'all back to keep y'all in toxic relationships and or talking y'all into toxic relationships. It's given, like, for example, you meet this friend group or you're getting to know someone, y'all building a friendship, and they introduce you to their friend group. They all been cool for a good while and this and that. They all have a man in common. That man is the same man that you may be building a relationship with. You're dating him and this and that. But you don't know they all got that man in common. None of them tell you they all got that man in common. Like on a sexual level, they've been in whole relationships with him type level. But they don't tell you that. Even if they tell you they know him or they know of him, none of them ever reveal that they've all had him in common. But then you end up revealing, oh, it's this guy that you dating, da 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 da. Mind you, they already know who you fucking with. But when you tell them, they gonna act like they oh for real, y'all, oh yeah, I know him, da 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 da, and they will let you just talk on and on about him and this and that, and they say, oh yeah, I heard he's a real good guy. I heard he's just got the best job and he's so nice to people. He give away turkeys on Thanksgiving. He's great with children. He is just the bee's knees. Best thing since sliced bread. Best thing since Jesus, honey. Yes, he's a good man. He's a good man, Savannah. Whole time. Every last one of them know that he's a dog ass nigga. Because they done experienced it. But none of them tell you. None of them give you the heads up or nothing. They just sit and play like they friends to you, and they get glee from watching you go from so happy-go-lucky and feeling good about the relationship to watching him dog you the fuck out the way that he's done every last single one of them. So I don't know who that's for. I don't know if that's something that's already happened for a lot of y'all, and or something that is in the midst of happening, just happened, is about to happen. It could go either way, but it's given that for a lot of you, things of this nature have already happened. For others of you, you are probably in the midst of it, and or it just happened, and or that could be a warning that you need to take a very sober look and sensing of this new friend group that you coming into. Okay, so take that how it resonates. Take that how it resonates and leave the rest on the floor. But in general, this is bringing up that a lot of what has triggered and fueled y'all's frequency of sadness has been collectives of women setting you up for failure and projecting their quarter life crisis on you, their midlife crisis on you, trying to set you up to be locked into long drawn out miserable marriages with 50-11 kids, dreams deferred, like a lot of our great grandmas and some of our grandmas and shit, the way that they was living with hardly, no real choices in their marriages, no real voice. They just a maid, mattress, and mule. Y'all have had a lot of collectives of women, and it's coming up women particularly, but this could also be like toxic feminine charged men. And this is a lot of the type of men that they aid and abet and enable and dicky for, toxic feminine coded men. And in a nutshell, what Spirit is saying with that is like men who are super emotionally and mentally and even spiritually abusive. This is also a toxic feminine collective. Both, it can consist of males and females. Okay, just toxic female toxic feminine collective is in adjacent, if not straight up, but it's given like in adjacent to how a lot of women in the church are taught that sexual pleasure is not for them, that sex is all about the men's pleasure, and that all of your life's pleasure, fun, joy, all of your dream fulfillment and all of that is supposed to come through a man. That's the type of toxic feminine beings that we're given here, amongst the fact that these toxic feminine beings are laced with envy like a motherfucker. They are full of envy, and it's very much so, it's channeling like the vampires on sinners. They don't like you all sense of freedom, you all sense of inability to conform to bullshit. And so they have done the absolute most, and this is a part of why they have also and have the will and the mindset to do trickery dickory dock behind the scenes ass shit and behind your back ass shit to set up parameters to keep you encaged to toxic situations, toxic dynamics. And like I said, these are the type of people that will speak very glorifyingly on situations that your intuition is telling you is toxic or is telling you is dangerous, or you may not know it at all, but they know that it's dangerous. This is the type of women that would turn a blind eye to old ass men trying to be in relationships with their teenage daughters and shit. You know what I'm saying? These are the types of women that blame their children for their boyfriends and men or whatever molesting them. These are the types of women that would say, you fuck my man, totally dismissing the fact that your man is a Pedialyte bear. Your man is a pedophile. Okay, so yeah, it's giving that type shit. It's also giving like geisha grooming, like geisha type grooming. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, a simplistic example is what Mulan was going through at the beginning of Mulan for the matchmaker. That's a very light form of what that is, but the way that they, pretty forcefully and aggressive, they just spring it together, snatch her waist tight, throw all his makeup on her face, all of that, send her into the matchmaker, and she got to pour tea perfectly. She got to take shit being said to her disrespectfully and disregardingly with a smile and not speak up for herself. She got to show how well she can be a good little slave with a smile and everlasting grace and elegance in order to show that she's worthy of being a wife. This is the type of things that like collectives of women have gone out of their way to impress upon y'all. And again, this is a huge part of what fuels and triggers y'all's sense of sadness and pain. So for part of this collective, the impact has landed where you found yourself getting caught up or having gotten caught up in realizing that you've been living out other people's dreams. So there's this thing of feeling like you've accomplished so much, but now that you've done it, you have like buyer's remorse and or this sense of emptiness because your soul is trying to scream at you that you found yourself on somebody else's path. Like a lot of this shit that you've accomplished doesn't truly mean anything for you. It doesn't truly mean anything to you because it ain't truly what you wanted. And then some of the people who dreams you actually ended up fulfilling and or, operating in this way where you realize that some of the things that you were going after and some of the things that you accomplished, you actually did it for other people to see you with it, whether it be like you trying to prove something to your mama or you trying to prove something to the women at church or, whoever this collective of women and toxic feminine beings that have impressed all of these things on your perspective of yourself and your perspective of what success and pleasure and joy and fulfillment is. Realizing that certain things that you went after and accomplished was just to show them that you could. And in certain cases, it's like now that you've done that, you still haven't gotten any difference of reaction from those people or certain people. You're still being villainized. You're still being talked to like you ain't shit. You still getting things said to you like, oh, you don't do shit. You ain't gonna be shit. You ain't ever been shit. Like you still dealing with these same people and or these same types of people talking down on you like nothing you've done is enough and it won't ever be enough, because it's more so a need to go within yourself and reevaluate. And that's getting into the official directions that this card is bringing up, going within and evaluating what do you truly want? What do you truly want that has nothing to do with anybody else's expectations or what somebody think and how somebody think is supposed to be done. What do you truly want? The other side of this collective has more so gotten to that point, but Spirit is saying that there's this contrarian thing that's been fueling it. So it's been playing out in an egotistical manner. And so there are these wonderings that come up as to like, where I cut everybody off, I've removed myself from this, that, and the third. Why is certain things still not kicking off as fast as I would like it to? And there's this feeling behind, and feeling like you've been dragged down and such. And the actuality is that you have. It's given like you have been in constant cycles of swimming against the tide, constant cycles of trying to break out of places. I'm literally like seeing certain people physically going through different situations where you've had to physically break yourself out of rooms, break yourself free from someone's violent grasp, or break yourself free of a home or a building or something of the sort, because people are literally like trying to hold you hostage on some shit. Like that's fucked up, you know? And so Spirit is acknowledging that and wanting you to recognize this as a time and a place to heal, and allow yourself to heal and rest, and allow yourself to figure out, and it's going back to where, you know, everything is starting to intertwine once more. Figure out what you truly want to do. Because with this half of the collective, a lot of what you've been doing that you want to do has been so wrapped up in breaking out, breaking free, fighting, you know, fighting off people and fighting for yourself and this and that, that's just kind of put you on this contrarian frequency. So it's where, even though you've been rebelling, you still ended up kind of being a slave to other people's expectations and what other people want and expect from you. Therefore, moving in survival mode in the way of wherever they go, I'm going the opposite. Whatever they think, I'm gonna think the opposite. Whatever they feel, I just gotta feel the opposite. If they over there, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, so being in this constant state of just running in whatever opposite direction that you can to get away from the things that you know are unsafe. And it's been less about what is actually your heart's passion. So this pause that y'all have been in, and or this slow and steady, what may even feel like a drag that you've been in, is not a punishment. It's literally a pause and or just a slowdown for y'all to take a minute and stop and smell the flowers. Stop and look at yourself. Stop and thank yourself. Stop and hug yourself. Stop and eat something nourishing. Eat something that you've been craving just because. And then gradually allow yourself to get to the points of evaluating what you truly want. And in order to do that, you got to evaluate these emotions, in which, in this particular frequency that we're speaking on, is the pain and the sadness, right? So evaluating those such things and, you know, taking in the divine direction that resonates accordingly will help you get clearer on what it is that you want, what it is that you truly want, that is just simply your heart's passion, and therefore will inevitably end up helping whoever is supposed to help and satisfying whoever that it is supposed to satisfy. Okay, honey. All right. With this too, it's some divine direction to remember certain things that you like to do as a child, and or certain things that are considered childlike, like go to a playground, go to an amusement park, go to a an arcade type shit, go see an animated movie, watch some animated movies from your childhood. And with that, you know, if you watch some animated movies from your childhood or that was made during your childhood, even if you weren't allowed to watch them, you know, when you was a child type shit, watching it as an adult and where you are now, especially after receiving these messages, it could possibly also help you get more clear about your emotions as well, because you get to see certain other people in different forms and in different worlds experiencing certain things that you can relate to. You know what I'm saying? And you just see it, you get to see it from this different perspective and point of view, and it can help you filter out what you have felt versus what you want to feel. You know what I'm saying? Amongst other things. But we're going to go ahead and get into y'all's second card, which we're really not going to have to spend that much time on because it correlates with some of what I just said. But y'all got the Six of Thoughts. So when y'all are experiencing pain and sadness, Spirit is saying that it's important for y'all to express that. Whether you do it through a voice memo and this and that, that's cool. But for y'all in particular, y'all need to have people that y'all trust to talk to, vent to, things of that nature. And I don't want to say unfortunately, but challengingly, a part of how y'all figure out who is safe for you to talk to is essentially releasing your grasp off the frequency of shame. Y'all may literally need to do some meditations and or castings and or get some castings and cleansing from a trusted spiritual worker that particularly cord breaks you from the frequency of shame, because that is what these toxic feminine collectives have been using to imprison y'all and puppeteer y'all by making y'all feel ashamed of yourselves about every little thing and making y'all feel ashamed of the things that you've been through, any little thing that you've done, and make you feel ashamed about it. So that constantly, the more that sets in for you, the more that y'all silence yourselves and the more that y'all become at risk and just totally consumed by like frequencies of depression, as well as people who have vulture type energy. It's like these projections of shame onto y'all, it facilitates this frequency of death, like this frequency of dying inside, killing yourself on the inside by silencing yourselves and by having to lie to yourself about who you are so that you can lie to other people about who you are, and or just getting caught up in that frequency one way or another because you've been so caught up in the web of wars against all of these things. So again, y'all are having to liberate yourselves from the frequency of shame so that you tell your story and so that you say whatever it is that you need to say without worrying about somebody holding it over your head or trying to blackmail you or trying to throw it in your face type shit, because can't nobody throw nothing in your face that you own. Okay? And so spirit as well as your higher self, as it's channeling through, they are needing and desiring, I'm hearing screaming at y'all to do what you need to do to stop being ashamed of yourself for real. You know what I'm saying? Do those meditations, get those castings, get those cleanses, work intentionally on it as a lifestyle to free yourselves from the frequency of shame. Because it's given that, for one, y'all are meant to tell y'all stories one way or another. And I'm hearing like y'all deserve to have someone to confide in because you've been through too much. And I'm also hearing that there are divinely designed people of your soul tribe that are really good listeners and really good transmuters of energy and good faith, and it's meant for you to vent to them so that they can bless you by just being who they are. And that thing be a mutual thing, because you're needed to see the best parts of yourself and other people, like in a genuine sense, not just creating it and projecting your shit onto other people, not just your shit, but what I'm saying is y'all have been trained to project all your greatness onto other people. Y'all have been trained to project all of your good positive traits onto other people, and that be the way that you cope through their bullshit and make sure that you have community and this, that, and the third. And it's time out for that. So now the more that you're taking ownership over yourself and over your own emotions, spirit and certain entities, certain other entities that are part of your divine realm, they are waking up and coming forth for you and setting up parameters for you to be able to attract these members of your soul tribe that is meant to be reflections, be genuine reflections, extensions, and embodiments of the best parts of yourself, and show you like everybody was using you to confide in and using you to, trauma dump all their bullshit on and train you to just be a receptacle of that. And like I said, now it's time out for that. And y'all are actually meant to be in a soul tribe of people that y'all naturally, mutually bless each other just by being who the fuck y'all are. Okay, and so that's like a good bit of what that is. And this is also going into, of course, forming a better friendship with yourself and learning more about what it is to be a friend to yourself. And so when you're experiencing pain and sadness, it's a good time to, like what came up, like sit up, create a whole date night, movie night for yourself. Take yourself on a date, take yourself to see a movie, do things, take yourself shopping, do things that, that may come up, especially if you're like kind of dealing with loneliness or whatever. Do things that you may think, oh, I would like to have some friends to go do this with, or oh, I wish I had somebody to go do this with. You do it with yourself. And the more that you do it with yourself, especially in times where you're feeling sadness and pain and things of that nature, rebel the habit that you've been conditioned to just silence yourself and throw yourself into work, or just throw yourself into sleep, or whatever it is to silence yourself on the inside and not deal with their pain. Actually rebel that. Find somebody to talk to, find somebody to confide in, and understand too that as this is coming up, I'm literally hearing like your expressions are protected and purified. So anybody that misuses your truth, as long as it's the truth now, anybody that misuses your truth, God gonna whoop their ass. Don't worry about that. Because also like the more and more you release your grasp of shame and release yourself from the frequency of shame, the less you gonna give a fuck, even if somebody do throw your shit in your face. Okay, the more also that you will feel like that bitch really thought she was doing something by telling me some shit that I told her about me, bitch. Clearly, I don't like. It is what it is, pimp. Like what? Ain't no shame in my game, pimping. You know what I'm saying? The more you release yourself from shame, the more you do not give a fuck about if somebody run with it or try to, use it against you or none of that shit, because you done already said it and it's out the way. And understand too that shame and remorse are two different things, okay? Because you can do, something that you're not proud of. That don't mean you have to be ashamed. You may be remorseful. That don't mean ashamed. Remorse means you recognize a wrongdoing and you taking accountability to be responsible for your own growth and edification going forward. Okay? Shame is about like the frequency of guilt. It's sinking sand. Nobody thrives in shame. So yeah. And a part of y'all confiding in people is also to expose people for better or worse. That's what's coming up here, that a part of y'all confiding in people, venting to people, plays a large role in exposing people. So exposing people that are sinister and just go out of their way to hurt people for no reason, as well as people who lie on people for no fucking reason. It's meant to expose those types of people, as well as it's also meant to expose the type of people who really are loyal, who really are genuine, who really are great listeners, and do so from a genuine, empathetic, and protective place. And for some of y'all, this is hitting where like some of y'all are supposed to be the types of people who do story times on social media, as well as I keep seeing this thing of like you being a dot connector, like the type of person that everybody ends up saying was early but not wrong. Like when you first was saying something about someone or some people, everybody was like, oh, you just hating, or you just crazy, or you just making up stuff, or da 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 da. But then eventually, as much as like you said your story, and or as much as you will say your story, and then it start waking up other people to start speaking on their situation or whatever, and then the whole thing ends up being like a dot connector that ends up, everybody ends up validating each other's stories, and that ends up evoking justice to some specific situation. For some of y'all, I'm seeing y'all do like voice memos, like doing more and more voice memos, and eventually this may turn into a book of some sort, or some type of uniquely made book, like probably an audio book, but an audio book with visuals attached in some very unique, stylistic type manner. Of course, I can't see the whole picture because it's like something that y'all ends up, it's some style of book that you and your people end up inventing type shit. But it's given that it would start with just a series of voice memos that you do. For others of you, it seems, of course, coming into a collective, it's giving a musical collective, like a writing team. That's what it is, writing teams. So it's going both ways, like as it concerns film, media, things of that nature, but also music. So for some of you it's music, for some of you it's film, and for some of y'all it could be both, where there's a soul tribe that you end up with, and it's starting with like small things that y'all start doing now, if you will, and eventually it's meant for y'all to attract this soul tribe where y'all collectively put together y'all stories and make music and or make films, shows, plays, things like that. So in a nutshell, honey, y'all have been under attack by toxic feminine collectives, child. Those of y'all, those toxic feminines specifically that are basically pick-me's and has done everything in their power to make y'all pick-me's. All right, that is some big thing that has been fueling and inflicting and triggering upon y'all's frequencies of pain and sadness. Y'all are meant to put that pain and sadness into meditation, cleansing from the frequency of shame. Okay, getting to the point of what you want, evaluating what you want independently of anybody else's thoughts, opinions, or expectations. All right, it also calls y'all to the actions of watching some cartoons, watching some like childlike type movies and shows and things, doing childlike activities, go to a playground, go to a park, get on some skates, go to a skating rink, go to a trampoline park, an arcade, amusement park, paint, things of that nature, getting your coloring book, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, maybe even healthily interact with cheering. Go do some volunteering that requires you to interact and work with cheering. Okay, bring out your frequency of youth in whatever healthy forms available. Okay, and on your heart's passion. All right, and on the other end is vent to yourself, and also vent to other people, because this is also for the purpose of enhancing y'all's throat chakra. Y'all's throat chakra is very important in a multitude of different ways, and y'all truly need and deserve to have people to confide in. Y'all truly need and deserve to speak your speech, to tell your story and get things off your chest how you need to, because this will also help to create clarity in the mind, as well as, like I said, release y'all from the frequency of shame. All right, so you can take the shackles off your feet so you can dance, honey, and get to experiencing some actual real senses of pleasure. And so y'all can attract y'all soul tribe that is meant to bless y'all by simply being themselves amongst y'all, being the same for them. Okay, hey, now we will move on over into the anger section, and I'm pretty sure that some blanks will be filled in as well. All right, into the anger. What is the divine direction of you all's anger? So in y'all's layout here, y'all have the Six of Wands, aka the Six of Vibes, in reverse, which is also labeled in this deck as squad goals. And y'all have the Queen of Fields, aka the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Water, also labeled in this deck as Mother's Intuition. So straight out the gate, I'm not gonna be able to, the way that it's channeling through and processing and everything, and I ain't gonna lie, it's triggering me. The frequencies I feel off of this layout and off of this collective as it concerns this specific topic. I'm gonna have to read this off like collectively and spontaneously. I can't go card by card. You may even notice that in the previous layout, I mindlessly started to channel on the other card. I didn't even like specifically address it. So yeah, ain't gonna waste no more time. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the specificities of these cards and these messages. So the divine direction of y'all's anger, and there are some blanks being filled in from the pain and sadness layout, whereas the mother's intuition is a double-edged sword. So the truth of the mother's intuition is you all's intuition. The other side that's being channeled through here is toxic matriarch energy, Mother Gothel type energy, which will also be, I'm literally hearing mother knows best, listen to your mother, da, 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 from the movie Tangled, which is the Rapunzel Disney animation movie, and her mother is keeping her locked in a tower so that she can harvest and siphon all of the magic from her hair. Understand that hair is also the crown chakra. Crown chakra is in association with our direct connection and communication and correlation with the divine realm, the Most High, God, our magic. So some things that come up here as what triggers and fuels y'all's frequency of anger is, and this by both cards. So with the Six of Wands in particular, there's this thing, this consistency of, it's bringing up Beyonce's song, I said yes to your mama and yes to you staying me. Yes, we can be together, but you gotta wait for me. First time I say no, it's like I never said yes. We was on the couch, you was really bugging, so I told you to get out. These are specific lyrics. I know that song, but the specific lyrics that's coming up is what's coming out. I have been misjudging you. You got a lot of nerve. You too damn old to be so immature. I hope you learn. You said I move too slow. I showed you to the door. You said you call me later. I said don't call no more. Said it's true if you can't wait for me. I'm glad you let me know. Cause you showed me your true worth, baby. Cause the first time I say no. The first time I say no, it's like I never said yes. So yeah, that Six of Wands in reverse energy is giving, as soon as you say no, as soon as you set boundaries, as soon as you say, I don't like that joke, as soon as you make yourself unaccessible for whatever reason, unavailable for whatever reason, you've had a lot of experiences where certain people, some of the least expected people, start showing their fucking ass. Cussing you out, calling you out your name, projecting shit upon you, lying on you, throwing shit back in your face. And then you're expected to be like, oh, but they were just upset. You know how people be when they're mad. They say a bunch of things they don't mean. Nah. It's similar to when people get drunk, which like these two cards coming up here in correlation, because in some cases, this is probably you dealing with people who are angry drunks and or are angry high people. When they get intoxicated, everything that they've ever been angry about comes out. And they indulge in these substances so that they can feel comfortable and safe in exhibiting these toxically wrathful behaviors. And so that people can say, oh, but they were just drunk. They were just, like, oh, it's just these things. Oh, just when they get in this state, they be like, da 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 da. And no, it's an explanation, but it's not an excuse. And that's what's coming up here for y'all. Empathize with the explanation. Fuck the excuse. Because too many people, too long, people have been fucking over you by constantly manipulating you and pressuring you and putting you in these instances and these belief systems that make you feel like you have to excuse shit, and essentially putting you in a position of having empathy and sympathy and compassion, grace, and benefit of the doubt for other people at the expense of having that for yourself, let alone demanding and requiring that for yourself. So it's a bunch of one-sided relationships of you pouring and pouring and pouring grace, empathy, sympathy into other people, and they have none of that for you. You facilitating the lives of psychopaths, sociopaths and sociopaths and narcissists, and just people who are straight up demonic, people who are straight up demonically slothful, and using people like you to live their best life in chaos, forever having some sort of justification and other people that validate those justifications. And that is what is fueling your frequency of anger. That's what fuels your frequency of anger. People who go out of their way and sit up and look for loopholes, look for opportunities to be trash. Like a post that I saw today, it said something like, I'm waiting. It says something like, fuck therapy. It was something along the lines of, fuck therapy. I'm waiting for someone to swing first so I can unleash all of my pent up aggression against them. And it was laced in this form like that's some like empowering thing to be and to do, but in actuality, that's cowardice as fuck. It's the work of a coward to sit up and let this plethora of people fuck over you just for you to wait until you feel like someone who you know you can beat, or who you feel like you can beat beyond a shadow of a doubt, swings on you so you can feel justified in holding them accountable for their shit, your shit, and everybody else's shit who you didn't have the courage to address, let alone stand up against. That's some pussy hoe ass shit. That's some pussy hoe ass shit. It's more courage in going to therapy than it is for you to sit up and be like, fuck therapy. I'm waiting for a weak motherfucker to swing on me so I can unleash all my life's aggression upon them because I didn't have the courage to do so when I should have been rightfully defending myself. That's some pussy hoe ass shit. And that's bully behavior, and that's abusive behavior. That's pussy hoe ass shit. And it's been people trying to force you and pigeonhole you into positions to facilitate pussy hoe ass shit. And so the direction of y'all's anger, when y'all are feeling angry, and specifically when it's fueled by these people who take out their frustrations on you, who, these are also people, what is coming up, people who wait for you to have things to celebrate, wait for you to get a new job, wait for you to get a new, like, good relationship, wait for you to evolve in these intangible ways, for them to start acting a fucking fool, and for them to start making things about them, and for them to start doing things to sabotage you, be it in your face or behind your back, because they want to keep you where they want you so that they can harvest the energy of your crown chakra. And it's also harvesting the energy of your solar plexus and your sacral. They dissociate you from your emotions so that they can pick up what you leave on the floor. You leave your emotions on the floor to attend to them, and they pick up your emotions, and then they misuse them and weaponize them against other people. So you may have noticed, and or soon you may start to notice certain people using your story as their own. Certain traumas that you've expressed to them, maybe even certain things that they've done to you that has traumatized you, that was a betrayal to you, things that you've been through. You may start to notice certain people that you confided in using your story as their own. And even in certain cases going so far as to say that your story where you were victimized, that they are you, and that you are the person who victimized them. All the while, it's your story of victimization. Ooh, child. And y'all should know I gotta laugh for every emotion. So whenever I chuckle, don't assume that I'm laughing at you, because laughing is like the other side of crying. It's a release of emotion. Just like you don't always cry because you're sad. Sometimes you cry because you're happy. Sometimes you cry just because you're like filled with emotion in general, and the only way to like get that out is through tears. And the same thing applies to laughter. So I feel I need to make that clear, because I don't want people to feel like I'm laughing at their situation or no shit like that. Because sometimes I'm chuckling and I'm laughing, and it ain't because shit funny. It's because I'm releasing energy. Because like in this case particular, like where that type shit start coming up, that's infuriating. That's really infuriating for you to confide in someone because you trust them and because you love them, or you're trying to relate to them. You may even be trying to like tell them something to make sure that they don't feel alone. And then they turn around and they use your shit as their own, let alone make you the villain in the story when it's your fucking story where you are actually the fucking victim. Like what? Oh, child. And in certain cases, this may even be y'all's parents. This may even be y'all's parents where shit that they've done to you, abused you, neglected you, abandoned you, deprived you in certain ways, and they turn around and act like, they use your experience and how they treated you, but they say it's their experience, and they say that how they treated you is how you treated them. Hence, the other side of the mother's intuition card. So, all that said, and this being a collective who has dealt with people where it's like, I don't need a team or a bitch speaking for me when y'all hoes step, gotta call y'all sorority. That's what it's given. When yo op step, they gotta call they sorority, because they some weak ass puss ass hoes, like for real. That's what this frequency is giving. It's some weak ass puss ass hoes that have performed strength and performed reliability and performed credibility in so many ways, let alone they have certain titles that make people feel required to excuse them, give them benefit of the doubt, give them reverence, give them respect to a fault, but in actuality, they are weak as fuck. What they bleed is weak sauce. What's pumping through their veins is fucking weak sauce. Pussy ass whole sauce. For real. And that's the type of shit that fuels y'all anger. Pussy hole shit. But it's certain people that fit this description that you've been taught you're not supposed to feel that way about them. You're not supposed to see them like that. And or you don't want to see them like that. But in actuality, like that's the truth. They pussy. And when they step, it's always the effort to gang up against you because they know your power. They know 1-on-1 they can't take you down. Even 3-on-1 they can't take you down. Even 5-on-1 they can't take you down. Even 10-on-1 they can't take you down. But in they simplistic ass fucking mind, they just say, okay, well, I just need more people. I just gotta keep gathering more people. I just gotta keep gathering more people. The more people I get, eventually they gotta stay down, right? Eventually they gotta be destroyed, but no. They just building bad karma for themselves. And it's up to you to snatch the cat back. It's up to you to call your energy back, call your power back, call your divine direction of anger back, call your truth back, call your emotions back, call your purity back, call your innocence back, call your story back, call your crown back, call your life force energy back to you, so that the walls can come tumbling down on them. And this don't mean that you wish bad on them. You don't have to wish bad on them. They built it for themselves already, but you have to get out of God's way. You have to get out of God's way so that you can stop blocking your blessings, and so that you can stop blocking their fucked up ass karma that they've created for themselves. And a lot of it has been off the backs of mistreating you and going out of their way to discard, discourage, disdain, and ostracize you and have you shunned. Because this is giving people where they feel entitled to. I had a situation where I literally had to cut off a client because I realized in what was coming through some of the readings that I was doing for her, and in general, it started to enlighten me to the fact that a friend of mine who was also doing readings for her before, so clearly I'm light skinned and the friend of mine is dark skinned. We were both doing readings for her. We were both coming upon the same messages, but she was demonizing my friend who was dark skinned. She was sending her all types of evil eye and anger and all this other shit. But when it came to me delivering her the same messages, she took it as Bible. She took it as, I have to honor this. I have to do this. Now, it still was only going so far because of the truth of her own spirit and her own roots, which she was functioning off of. All the while, me and my friend who was reading her, who so happens to be dark-skinned, we were saying the same shit to her, but she's demonizing the friend who's dark-skinned because in her belief system of colorism, she's like, this bitch should not have the audacity to speak the truth to me. This bitch should not, even if that is the message that came up, she should know that she's supposed to tell me whatever the fuck I want to hear. She should not feel so bold and so confident to say the truth to me straight up like how she's saying it to me. I don't care what purpose God gave her. She's dark-skinned. She's supposed to tell me what I want to hear. But because I'm lighter than both of them, she took everything I said as, well, I have to listen to this. I can't get upset with her. I can't do this, and that's bullshit. And it's a lot of like what y'all's ops are exhibiting, this energy of I'm only supposed to listen to this. So these are the types of people who, like, if white people say the same shit to them that you're saying to them, they'll take it as Bible. If light-skinned people say it to them, or light-skinned people who fit a specific phenotype say it to them, if Cheyenne Bryant say it to them versus Iyanla Vanzant, they're gonna take it as Bible. But if Iyanla Vanzant say it to them, oh, Iyanla Vanzant is the fucking devil. It can literally be the same exact message, but because the messenger is wrapped in an aesthetic that they're taught to disdain, or it's wrapped in a lifestyle that they're taught to attack, they're gonna act like fucking stupid asses instead of accordingly. And in these particular cases, with these particular types of beings, it doesn't stop at, I'm gonna cut you off, or I'm gonna just have, whatever snapback in the moment to say. It manifests in them feeling like, well, now I have to destroy their fucking life. And I'm not gonna lie, no tea, no shade, I don't have no dog in the fight. But it's channeling Cardi B and Tasha K. Whereas Cardi B had every right and reason to defend herself against the simplicity of certain shit that Tasha said about her that was a lie, and how it affected her kids, and how it affected her mental health and all of that. Fight for the money that you're owed, holds her accountable for that, and this, that, and the third. All the while trying to destroy her life's purpose. That's where you losing the plot, and that's where you out of fucking line. That's what's shining through here. And there are certain people where it's like, regardless of what your flaws are, regardless of certain instances where you may have been wrong or did too much or whatever, what have you, there are people that feel like they are entitled to ruin your whole entire fucking life simply because you exhibited a flaw, simply because of what you represent. It's also bringing up Meg Thee Stallion, because Meg Thee Stallion represents a loud, feminine, bodacious energy in the form of melanin, melanated femininity on the spectrum of dark skin, let alone she's sexually liberated, emotionally liberated, musically liberated, artistically liberated, performatively liberated. She exhibits liberation in all forms, and because she's on the spectrum of dark skin, a lot of people feel like any flaw she shows makes them entitled to destroy her. Not just hold her accountable for whatever, what have you, but to go out of their way to destroy her, which is unjust. And that is the type of people that y'all are dealing with. Y'all are dealing with people who feel like because of what you represent, if you show any type of flaw, anything that is outside of what they expect or what they feel like you're supposed to be showing and being, they feel like they are entitled to ruin your life. They feel like they are entitled to destroy you, to take you out of here. Even if they can't kill you literally, they want to kill your spirit, and they feel like they're entitled to do so. All that said, the divine direction of y'all's anger in this situation with the six of wands in this layout, the Six of Wands being in reverse is meant for y'all to go into solitude. This is a evolved Scorpio feminine type energy where you recluse. When you feel yourself getting upset, when you feel yourself getting angry, when you feel people going out of their way to upset you and inflame you, rage bait you, it's a call to action to recluse, to go within, to separate yourself from those people and from everybody, and go within and listen to music, paint, dance. And it don't mean you got to do some top-notch Sierra Chris Brown type choreography. You can literally just bop and two-step around. Just play some music that makes you feel good. Play some music that you can vibe to type shit. Because like, especially in this particular deck, the Six of Wands is resonated with Leo energy. And so with it being in reverse, it's unevolved Leo energy. Unevolved Leo energy likes to take credit for any and everything. It don't matter how good or bad it is. They just want the credit. They just want their name on it. They just want to be mentioned. They want to be given credit. They want to be thanked one way or another in the acceptance speech and all of that shit. They want to be, whether they seen in the videos doing something good or bad, they just want to be seen. They want any type of fucking attention. And so these are the types of people that you have to send into a drought. You cannot give them any energy, be it good or bad. You have to recluse and send them into a drought, and you have to counteract that by pouring into yourself. And this may come with certain things you feel like they need in the moment in order to be better in the situation, or in order to be better in themselves. You have to turn that back to yourself. And it's channeling Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. And it's like, it can be frustrating when it comes up like that, where they say, be the change that you want to see. Because you may be like, oh, well, I keep being that and I keep attracting the same thing. The issue is you're not being it enough for yourself. You're not being the change that you want to see enough for yourself. So that's a part of why the divine direction of your anger is to separate, recluse, and give yourself what may be coming up to you that the other people or the other person may need in order to be better, in order to grow, in order to feel better about the situation or whatever is going on. Pour that into yourself. And the same message comes through with the Mother's Intuition card. Anyone or anything that is requiring empathy, sympathy, and compassion at your expense is not divinely designed. If having empathy and sympathy and compassion and grace for them comes at the expense of having empathy and compassion and sympathy for you, it is null and void. It's not for you. It is not divinely designed. It is a trap. It is the devil. And the devil is a lie. Okay? If you cannot maintain empathy and compassion for yourself, let alone if the relationship is not facilitating mutual compassion, mutual grace, mutual empathy, mutual sympathy, it is not divinely designed, and it is likely someone trying to get you trapped into a one-sided relationship of you facilitating and enabling all of their bullshit and them rising and getting credit and getting accolades and getting fame and wealth off of your story. And it keeps bringing up, I wanted to come up at least 3 times before I let it be, but it's bringing up love don't cost a thing, and how Alvin in certain ways was destiny swapping with Paris Morgan, all the way down to the fact that he had done stole the lyrics to her song to use for himself for a game with another woman, and in a situation where he was about to be exposed. he took popularity and life force energy and things from her just to villainize her and leave her destitute in a situation. Like, it's one thing if you had to just, let her help you up, but you didn't just let her help you up. You kicked her down the hill once she helped you up. She pulled you up off the ledge, and then you threw her down to make yourself feel better. This is given like the imagery of the 3 of Swords that is in the Santissima deck, the Mother Merte deck, where it's 3 skeletal people, and the 2 at the top, they're taking knives out of each other's backs. But if you look closely, you'll see they're taking knives out and they're putting their own knives in. So pay attention to that type shit. People who come along and they're acting like, and they're performing like they're helping you get over something. They're supporting you through a heartbreak. They're supporting you through a betrayal. They're helping you through recovering from something. But the whole time, it seems as though they are helping you release this dead weight. They're taking knives out of your back. But in actuality, they're just making space for their own knives. They're making space for their own betrayals. And for them to have the chance to be in a position to dog you the fuck out, and you feel like they're entitled to you excusing it and dealing with it because they helped you take the other knives out, so you should accept them putting other knives in. I'm gonna say that again. These are people with the mentality that because they may have helped you take the knives of other people out of your back, that you should then accept their own knives being stabbed into you. I helped you take them other knives out. Why are you mad about these? It's the least you could accept. It's the least you could do is take me stabbing you. I helped you take the other stabs out. I helped you heal from the other stabbed wounds. The least you can do is accept me stabbing you and act like it's okay and act like it's a great time. That's the least you could do. At least you're not being stabbed by those other people, right? Now you're being stabbed by me, so you should be okay. No. No. And so, again, in a nutshell, that was the divine direction of y'all's anger. It's to recluse, go within, go into hermit mode, and start filtering and deciphering. Is the situation requiring you to show up and be and have compassion and empathy and all these other things for all these other people at the expense of yourself? And if it's at the expense of yourself, so like for instance, it's a lot of times, especially in the Black community, where the parents are requiring more grace and compassion from the kids for them than they are willing to give. And it's all of this, oh, you only get one parent, you only get one mama, you only get one father. Well, you may have more than one children, but you only get one Rashida, you only get one Lisa, you only get one Bart, you only get one Stewie, you only get one Meg. And it is totally disrespectful and disregarding for you to just paint all of these kids with one brush. They are individuals. People are individuals. And they only get one you too. And that's a reading for another time that I've already planned to get into, but that message just channeled through here like that, where it's a lot of motherfuckers that keep like impressing upon y'all. You only get one mama, you only get one daddy, and they only get one you. They may have multiple kids, but they only get one you. They only get one you. And when y'all get upset, when y'all get angry, it's a call to action for y'all to reevaluate the way that y'all are being valued and whether y'all are being valued at all or not. And if you are not, and if you're being devalued and you're not being valued as much as you should be, it's a call to action for you to seek and pour that value back into yourself. That empathy and that compassion, all of the things. Now, to address the bracelets that y'all have here real quick as we wrap up, it ended up being 2 different bracelets, but they're on the same frequency. And both of them are honestly Leo energy. Leo and fire sign, but emphasis on Leo energy, especially where we have the tiger's eye, the yellow citrine, the yellow cat's eye, the floral indications that are on some of the charms, as well as you may not be able to see them, but there are certain diamond cut gems that are also on the bracelets. And all of these things are generating very powerful, evolved Leo energy. So y'all may be dealing with some unevolved Leo energy. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all may be dealing with some unevolved fire sign energy in general, and y'all may be dealing with some unevolved Cancer energy and unevolved Virgo energy, particularly. And it's all calling y'all to tap more into the evolved Leo and evolved Pisces energy, which is very divinely creative, very well-roundedly psychic, and also very sensitive. And a lot of you all have probably been demonized and villainized and shamed a lot for being sensitive, but y'all sensitivity is actually y'all superpower. And that's what a lot of people have not wanted y'all to know. And that's why a part of y'all's divine direction, when it comes to feeling all the things talked about in this video, with pain, sadness, anger, is divinely directed for y'all to break loose and go within and start pouring into yourselves. And likely working with like deities like Bastet that are associated with like pampering, self-care, glamour magic and stuff like that. And y'all may even have dealt with a lot of ops who use glamour magic for evil. They may use glamour magic to get away with bad behavior, to leave halo effects on people so that people can't excuse their behavior because they like how they look, or they like how they come off, or they're distracted by whatever shiny material things are around them and things of that nature. And so this may also have like left some impression upon y'all that feels like it's wrong to be glamorous, or it's wrong to prioritize those types of things. But it's not innately wrong. It's about how you're using it. And that's what Spirit is wanting to bring to y'all's attention. And the more y'all intuitively go within and break loose in hermit mode with a sense of balance in these moments, the more you'll be able to see yourself clearly, and the more you'll be able to see the truth clearly, and how people have been using and harvesting y'all's sensitivity to weaponize it against you. Recognizing the power of your sensitivity, making you think that it's weak, all the while they're taking it and dropping it on your fucking head, making you think they're so powerful, but in actuality, it's your own shit. And not your shit, but it's your own power that they influenced you to drop. They picked it up and dropped it on your head. It's not innately evil. They just made you drop it. And they picked it up and they used it for evil. And that's what's impressed, this imposter syndrome of you thinking you're the villain and you're the evil one, and you trying so hard not to be the villain and not to be the evil one. And it's because so many people in your lifetime have influenced you to drop your power, to drop your emotions, to drop your sensitivity. And then they pick it up and they use it for evil. And they use it against you for evil. But when you take it back, you're going to realize it's not you, it's not your power, it's how they were using it. It's not the trauma that's keeping them down, per se. It's how they're using it, because you've experienced trauma too, right? And how are you using it? There's tons of people that's experienced trauma. Life is not just happening to one or two or three fucking people. It's about how each individual is using it. And so, as I wrap up, to address some other things to make clear, whenever you can and are able, also seek therapy. Not because it's quote unquote something wrong with you, but because it's a thing. Like, really, everybody needs therapy, especially at some time or place. But also, especially when you have a higher calling on your life, just like getting readings are important, getting therapy is also heavily important. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Amongst, don't let other people's wrongdoings make you wrong. That's how Spirit wants me to say it, and leave it at that. And that's how I'm going to say it and leave it at that. Don't make other people's wrongdoings make you wrong. Don't let other people's wrongdoings make you wrong. Defend yourself, yes. Also, don't let other people's wrongdoings make you wrong. Don't be so quick to defend yourself with a response. Sometimes, and how it's coming up here, oftentimes, your first defense is to retreat. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. Because it's like a lot of y'all are dealing with the types of people that look for any reason to be a victim. Any way, reason, and shit to be a victim. So you responding to them, you arguing with them, you throwing shit back at them, you fighting fire with fire. All they gonna do is use it as another excuse and justification to victimize themselves and justify their villainous behavior. And it just keeps you in a loop-de-loop with no pull. And it just becomes a distraction from you fulfilling what it is that you truly need to fulfill. So it's like, y'all have this challenge of letting people expose themselves, and you end up exposing them through just being you and doing what you do. And a part of it is telling your story honestly through the platforms and avenues and the styles in which you do. And the way it channels through is given creatively. A lot of you may be songwriters, actors, book writers, film writers, playwriters, news writers, things of that nature, media writers. Again, what came up in like the first layout was like some of y'all it may be meant for y'all to do story times online, and that's how y'all are meant to make a living for yourselves, gain y'all justice, fulfill y'all purpose amongst, expose other people, and facilitate them exposing themselves through simply being you and telling your truth and speaking your speech, which is Leo and Pisces energy. Leo and Pisces are the two non-conforming signs where shame is not an object. Most Leos and Pisces you come across, be it evolved or unevolved, they don't know shit about shame. They gonna say whatever they got to say. They gonna tell their story. They gonna tell it how it is, even if it's something that's about them that may seem like, oh, why ain't you embarrassed by it? They don't get no fuck. It's their story. They felt the need. They want to say it. They said it, and it is what it is. If you uncomfortable, that's your own damn fault. So like, yeah, y'all are being called to tap into y'all's evolved Leo and evolved Pisces energy, releasing that shame. There's also some evolved Scorpio energy here, evolved Scorpio feminine energy, which involves knowing when to retreat and recluse and filter out certain things. Okay, so yeah, in a nutshell, y'all's divine direction of y'all's pain, sadness, and anger is to make yourselves unavailable to the people who are making y'all feel that way, so that y'all can get to the truth within. And you get to that truth specifically by pouring compassion and empathy and sympathy into yourself, and beauty and creativity and things of that nature into yourself, and calling upon for divinely designed clarity, forming a more intimate relationship with God, and them bringing more clarity and calls to action to you for how you're supposed to use each and every situation. Because that's what's coming up in a very solidified manner here, is that this collective is a collective of storytellers. Y'all are storytellers. It's meant for y'all to tell y'all story. It's meant for y'all to tell certain other people's story. It's meant for y'all to be a mouthpiece for certain other people. And so that's also why it's heavily important that y'all don't become what y'all despise, so that y'all don't misuse other people's stories. Also, this is a storytelling group, and y'all do so with psychic abilities. So, you know, that's also why some of the messages come out like, or have come out in this collective kind of, it may seem incomplete, but it's because each of y'all are going to have your own individual personal calls to actions that y'all receive from y'all's own divine realm about how y'all are supposed to use y'all's individuality and y'all's individual experiences of everything. But it brings up like The Best Man, the movie The Best Man, and the message of don't be Harper. Don't be Harper that just sit up and like exploit people, because it's a difference between calls to action and telling stories and cautionary tales and doing your purpose versus exploiting people. And it's given that y'all have been exploited. Y'all have dealt with a lot of people exploiting y'all, exploiting y'all's pain, exploiting y'all's sadness, exploiting y'all's anger, exploiting y'all's trauma, exploiting y'all in general. Even if the motherfuckers ain't had nothing to gain from it, they just want to exploit y'all and exploit, you know, whatever it is that y'all have given them. And so it's given, don't become what you despise. And a lot of you have been challenged severely over like the past 2-3 years with like shit. Like maybe shit didn't get to y'all like talking about before, but over like the past 2-3 years, some shit happened where it's like, that's getting to me. That shit right there done got to me. And presented this temptation to become what you despise. And that's why some of y'all may be dealing with this period of isolation now. You may be feeling lonely. The Spirit is saying embrace that so you can get closer to yourself, because it's meant for you to not become what you despise, in simple terms. And the Spirit wants me to leave it at that. And so it's definitely about that time where I remind y'all, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man a fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Y'all go fishing, baby. And with all that being said, child, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe, so that you can be one of the first to be back to release Queen of Quotas for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section for your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in always like love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.